Welcome to K-Zone. Today, we will share about the Paranoia at 70,000 feet, the U-2's psychological warfare on the USSR. Let's start. During the Cold War, the United States and the Soviet Union engaged in a high-stakes game of espionage and technological one-upmanship. One of the most significant contributors to the tension and paranoia of the era was the U-2 spy plane, a remarkable piece of technology that played a pivotal role in American intelligence-gathering efforts. We will explore how the U-2 spy plane drove the USSR to the brink of madness, reshaping the dynamics of the Cold War. The U-2, or Dragon Lady, was a high-flying reconnaissance aircraft developed by the United States in the 1950s. It was designed to fly at altitudes exceeding 70,000 feet, far above the reach of Soviet radar and interceptors. The U-2's primary mission was to gather intelligence by photographing sensitive targets on Soviet soil, providing the United States with invaluable information about its Cold War adversary. The U-2's ability to operate at extreme altitudes gave the United States a significant advantage in intelligence gathering. At these altitudes, the plane was virtually invisible to Soviet radar, making it almost impossible for the USSR to detect or intercept the aircraft. This inherent secrecy allowed the U-2 to capture critical images of Soviet military installations, missile sites, and other top-secret facilities. One of the most infamous episodes involving the U-2 occurred on May 1, 1960, when U.S. pilot Francis Gary Powers was shot down while on a reconnaissance mission over the Soviet Union. The U-2 incident led to a dramatic escalation in Cold War tensions. The U.S. initially denied the true nature of Powers' mission but was forced to acknowledge it when the Soviets produced both the wreckage of the U-2 and the captured pilot. The incident sabotaged a scheduled summit between President Dwight D. Eisenhower and Soviet Premier Nikita Khrushchev, further straining U.S.-Soviet relations. The U-2 incident exposed the inherent risks of spy plane missions over hostile territory. The United States had to reconsider the utility of the U-2 and explore alternative methods for intelligence gathering. As a result, the development of satellite technology, such as reconnaissance satellites, became a priority. While the U-2 program continued, the incident underscored the need for more advanced and secure means of surveillance. Despite the setback of the U-2 incident, the U-2 spy plane continued to be a vital tool in American intelligence operations throughout the Cold War. It played a crucial role in monitoring Soviet activities, particularly during times of crisis, such as the Cuban Missile Crisis in 1962. The U-2's high-altitude reconnaissance provided the U.S. with real-time information on Soviet military movements, allowing policymakers to make informed decisions. The U-2's ability to fly at such high altitudes was not only advantageous for collecting intelligence but also for psychological warfare. The constant presence of these unidentifiable aircraft, combined with Soviet inability to intercept or down them, left the USSR in a state of constant paranoia. The feeling of being watched and monitored from above weighed heavily on the Soviet leadership and contributed to their growing mistrust of the United States. The USSR went to great lengths to counter the U-2 threat. They intensified their efforts to develop anti-aircraft technology capable of reaching the U-2's operating altitude. This led to the deployment of new radar systems and more advanced surface-to-air missiles. The USSR also focused on training their pilots to reach higher altitudes. However, these efforts proved challenging and expensive, contributing to the economic strain on the Soviet Union. The U-2 spy plane and the USSR's attempts to counter it created a cat-and-mouse game in the skies. The US continuously improved the U-2's technology, allowing it to operate at even higher altitudes and evade Soviet defenses. This escalation in technology and tactics further strained Soviet resources and intensified the paranoia within the Soviet government. The U-2 spy plane's impact on the Cold War cannot be overstated. It was a thorn in the side of the USSR, driving the nation to extraordinary measures to protect its secrets. The U-2 played a critical role in providing the United States with the intelligence needed to understand Soviet military capabilities and intentions, and it contributed to shaping U.S. foreign policy throughout the era. The U-2 spy plane was a remarkable piece of Cold War technology that drove the USSR to the brink of madness. Its ability to fly at extreme altitudes and gather intelligence on Soviet activities created a constant state of paranoia within the Soviet leadership. While the U-2 incident temporarily derailed the program, it continued to be a key tool in American intelligence operations throughout the Cold War. The U-2's legacy is one of fear, intrigue, and psychological warfare, and it played a pivotal role in reshaping the dynamics of the Cold War. Thanks for watching. Don't forget like, share and subscribe.